Hey guys, Red Wolf here. So I just wanted to make this quick video on the 2011 ThunderCats. With all the controversy surrounding some reboot, which will not be mentioned, and I hope that fucking show fails, I wanted to talk a little more about the true ThunderCats reboot, and that's the 2011 show. If you want my quick thoughts on the show, I thought it was a great show. I know some people didn't like the show, and that's mostly fans from the 80s, but you can't deny the show had effort put into it. And guess what? It had a fan base. Not just new fans, but also some older fans from the 80s as well, who found it to be a pretty satisfying reboot. I, for one, loved the series, and found plenty of homages to the classic version, and even some things better than the classic. But I'm not here to gush all over the 2011 show. I'll save that for a future review. So we all know that the 2011 show was cancelled. The funny thing is that the ratings were not awful, but they weren't top end great either. What killed it was the expensive animation and the wrong demographic for its advertisers. The show was drawing a large college age and 30-something-year-old audiences, but was doing poorly with kids. This is great unless you are trying to sell advertising time for Cartoon Network. The advertisers are looking for different results. And yes, this is the exact same reason Young Justice was cancelled, and the delightful Teen Titans show was replaced with a horrid reboot, which will also not be mentioned. The final nail in the coffin in the ThunderCats 2011 cartoon was Lego pitching their Legend of Chima show to Warner Brothers, which played similar themes to ThunderCats. The new ThunderCats creator claims Chima was based on the prototypes to the unmade Lego ThunderCats line, but take that with a grain of salt. He often seems a bit paranoid and unhinged that the show was targeted towards a much lower age-wise, that ThunderCats had a clear built-in top-selling toy line, and a built-in high-level advertiser. So the main point I want to get to in this video is, what if the 2011 show were to be put on Netflix? If you look at another reboot that was based on another 80s cartoon, and that's currently ongoing, is Voltron, the Legendary Defender. And I must say, the show has done pretty well for itself. It has a huge fan base, and Season 6 was amazing, which I need to review. If this show was on Cartoon Network, it would have gotten the same treatment like all their other action shows that came out during the early 2010s. An example of this was the 2011 ThunderCats. But what if the 2011 cartoon were to be put on Netflix? Now, surely it would have done way better and got more seasons if it first aired on that streaming platform. Look at Voltron, the Legendary Defender. But it wasn't. It was on an idiotic network that couldn't have given two shits about the show, no matter how popular it was with fans like me. And to this day, I still want a second season. From a business standpoint, it wouldn't make sense to bring back a cancelled show that failed, even though Cartoon Network are mostly to blame for why it failed. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's impossible for a revival to happen. There have been a lot of cancelled shows over the years that have gotten revivals, including Young Justice, which was another great show that was cancelled by the same idiotic network. Now, the only possible way I could ever see the show coming back is through Netflix. Now look, there hasn't been anything said about the show coming back through Netflix, other than a few petitions clamoring for it to happen. Could the show be revived through Netflix? Well, if the show were to be put on Netflix, the first thing they would need to do is put Season 1 on Netflix, and see if it gets any viewers to justify making more. As for now, all data probably shows it's a failed show. But here's the catch, they need to see if enough people are interested in it to justify making more, and I'm sure it can be brought back. Look at how we brought back Young Justice. Now, while I know Netflix can make original series, does Netflix have the rights to making additional series to pre-existing shows? I doubt there would be any legal reason they can't do it, just as long as they get the rights to make it happen. It would cost a lot more money if they wanted to match it up to Season 1, since they'd have to make deals with the same animation studio, get all the cast back together, and get the writers back. Of course, those people might be working on other shows, so scheduling it would be a nightmare. Realistically, if Netflix were to ever commission the new ThunderCats, it would be a reboot, with new art, different voice actors, and new writers. But here's the problem. A reboot for the ThunderCats is already being made, and guess who owns the rights to ThunderCats? Warner Brothers. Now, that's not to say that they wouldn't ever bring back the 2011 cartoon because they brought back Young Justice. For my 2 cents, they would need to see if there would be enough fan interest to bring it back for Season 2. And as of right now, their only interest is that new shitty looking reboot. That'll premiere in 2019. Whether Warner Brothers listens to us or not, we just have to show that enough of us still want a season 2 of the 2011 show. But anyways, guys, that just about wraps up my video. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think it's possible for the ThunderCats 2011 cartoon to come back? Let me know down below. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.